My husband confessed that he has been having an emotional affair and it's breaking me. I've married my husband for 9 years, we have a son together. Last week he confessed to me that he thinks he has started an emotional affair with a co-worker of his. He said that this has been going on for a few months and he didn't felt guilty. He said that he never touched her romantically, but he had feelings for both of us. He said he of course would choose me over any woman, but still I've been hurting since I found this it and I don't know what to do. The girl is in her mid-20s, she hasn't had any kids, she's so pretty and she has a piece of his heart. I don't know what I've been doing wrong for him to catch feelings for another woman. This is devastating to me. Honestly, I'd rather he had just fucked her and had no feelings for her whatsoever. That would be easier. I don't know how I can get past this. We have a family that I don't want to break up and I still love him, and he's ending everything with her, but now I feel broken. I don't even know if I can trust him again. I don't know what to do. Edit. I got preoccupied after I made this post. He said he did not feel guilty because it was an accident and he didn't intend for anything to go as far as it did. There were a lot of messages exchanged between them and he said they went on 2 dates. He also said that they sexted and shared nudes, but there was nothing physical. He said he'd end the affair, but right now we can't afford for him to quit the job. He said that he was going to stop seeing her outside of work and said he has already blocked her on everything. Why did he tell you this? I don't understand what he went on to say. Was he saying this to try to get you to change something, or to beg forgiveness, or because his mistress said, if you don't tell her, I will, and so he is trying to get his story in first? This seems horribly cruel. I'm so sorry. So he's sexted and gone on dates and doesn't feel guilty? LMFAO. Yeah, no way, it was just an accident. Yeah, fuck this guy. Totally dodging accountability. Having dates, sexting and sending nudes is not an emotional affair, it is an affair. You didn't do anything wrong if he never asks for things to change. This post has reached one of our comment/karma limits. The text of the post has been preserved below. I've married my husband for 9 years, we have a son together. Last week he confessed to me that he thinks he has started an emotional affair with a co-worker of his. He said that this has been going on for a few months and he didn't felt guilty. He said that he never touched her romantically, but he had feelings for both of us. He said he of course would choose me over any woman, but still I've been hurting since I found this it and I don't know what to do. The girl is in her mid-20s, she hasn't had any kids, she's so pretty and she has a piece of his heart. I don't know what I've been doing wrong for him to catch feelings for another woman. This is devastating to me. Honestly, I'd rather he had just fucked her and had no feelings for her whatsoever. That would be easier. I don't know how I can get past this. We have a family that I don't want to break up and I still love him, and he's ending everything with her, but now I feel broken. I don't even know if I can trust him again. I don't know what to do. Edit. I got preoccupied after I made this post. He said he did not feel guilty because it was an accident and he didn't intend for anything to go as far as it did. There were a lot of messages exchanged between them and he said they went on 2 dates. He also said that they sexted and shared nudes, but there was nothing physical. He said he'd end the affair, but right now we can't afford for him to quit the job. He said that he was going to stop seeing her outside of work and said he has already blocked her on everything. My 21F parents are refusing to go to my brother's 28 meters wedding because he didn't pick my other brother, 26 meters, as best man and don't want me to go either. Sorry for the long title. I'm in a really weird situation with my family and needed some advice. Thanks in advance. Smile. As background, I, 21F, have 2 brothers who I'll call Sam, 26 meters, and Matt, 28 meters. Those aren't their real names, obviously. I'm going to college. Sam and Matt are both out of school and working. About a year ago, Matt announced he and his girlfriend, 27F, were engaged after having been together since high school. We were all happy, including my parents, 58F/61 meters, because we all knew and liked his fiancée. Matt's wedding is scheduled for the beginning of April and it's relatively small and outside because of COVID and money concerns. I haven't been too involved in the wedding planning because I've been at college, but in the fall they asked me if I wanted to be a bridesmaid and I agreed. Assumed that Sam would also be in the wedding, but was never told so. Again, it's pretty informal, so they weren't planning on doing elaborate dresses and stuff, and I was just told a color/style of dress to wear. From how I understand it, and I've been at college so I don't know everything, obviously, my parents and Sam were under the impression that Sam was going to be Matt's best man. Apparently last week Matt told them that Sam wasn't going to be the best man and instead it was going to be his best friend Bob. I don't know how this wasn't communicated before then. Anyway, my parents and Sam have both went batshit crazy and are now refusing to go to the wedding or help pay for it if Sam isn't the best man. I haven't talked to Matt, he hasn't been picking up my calls, but according to my parents he's not relenting and still wants Bob to be best man. My parents told me that I shouldn't go to the wedding either because Matt was being a bad brother and betraying Sam. Does anyone have any advice on how to remedy this situation and make my parents, Matt, and Sam calm down? ? I don't want to miss Matt's wedding, but at the same time they pay for my college so I'm kind of under their control. I'm not sure what to do. Too long didn't read. My parents and brother are mad because my other brother didn't choose that brother as best man. They're saying they won't go to the wedding and don't want me to either, and I don't know what to do. Edit. I didn't include this originally, but I'm going to add it because someone in the comments suggested I should. Sam is not in the wedding party at all. Matt's groomsmen are Bob, Bob's brother, 2 college friends and a cousin of ours Matt is close with. Matt was Sam's best man 2 years ago. Matt offered to include Sam in the wedding party when he got upset, but they were already mad. Edit 2. To clarify some things that people are asking and to update you guys. I talked to both my parents and Sam a lot last night. Basically, I think they're mad about different things. Sam is mad that he's not in the wedding at all, but doesn't care so much about being best man. He feels like Matt doesn't care about him. I think my parents are more mad that Bob is best man and not Sam. I've said this in comments, but my parents don't like Bob and by extension Bob's brother, and seeing them both in the wedding instead of Sam has enraged them. My mom was yelling over the phone to me something to the effect of, "What's next? Bob's dad is officiating?" Yes, Bob's brother is a groomsman. They're close. I don't know how close. He's 2 years older than Matt and Bob, 10 years older than me. I'm closer with Sam than Matt. How close are Matt and Sam? That wasn't really brought up in the original post. I was in a similar situation, but people in my family didn't lose their shit immediately. I have 2 brothers, I am also male. We are close in age. I love them very much, but I was always closer to my friends growing up. I told them that I was choosing my best friend as my best man in my wedding. I told them both that it wouldn't be fair to choose one over the other and I felt closer to my best friend. They agreed. Both of my brothers also did the same thing for their weddings. Now the difference here is that my brothers were groomsmen. I love my brothers and they needed to be a part of my wedding. This is where I'm confused as to why Matt didn't immediately tell Sam what was going on and also excluded him from the wedding party until very late in the game once Sam was already pissed. I can see how Sam would be upset. Did Sam have Matt as his best man out of a feeling of obligation, or was it because Sam thought he had a very close relationship with Matt? Maybe Matt doesn't think his relationship with Sam is all that great. Just really curious what their relationship with each other is like. I don't understand why they care so much. Is there something else going on? A family member who has passed Bob is awful? I don't get it. It's a ridiculous situation and I hope you're not punished for going. Why is this even a thing? Have your parents always been this weird? Hi. Can go into a bit more details if it makes it more clear. I wasn't sure how much to post because I didn't want my original post to be so long. Part of it is that when Sam got married 2 years ago Matt was his best man. Think Sam feels like Matt doesn't care as much about him because he didn't choose him and instead wants Bob to be his best man. My parents maybe feel the same way, I don't know. Bob isn't per se bad, but I think the situation is exasperated because they don't like him much. Bob and my brother have been friends since they were kids and at times he's been a bad influence. He's a good guy though and has always been a good friend to my brother and kind to me. Yeah, my parents are kinda weird. It doesn't sound like he ever asked Sam in the first place. People made a lot of assumptions. You need to go to the wedding. Your parents and Sam are not only being petty, they are now trying to be vindictive and malicious and urging you to do so as well. First of all, and I think you know this, your folks and brother are way out of line. The role of a best man is to be the one guy you trust the most, to be your confidant and ensure everything goes as planned. Your brother has proved by his outburst he is absolutely not that person. The best man does anything and everything to ensure the wedding goes off smooth, including shutting his mouth and supporting the groom. Sit down and explain this to your folks. First of all, your dad, one-on-one. Ask him why he picked his best man, and the behavior he would have expected. Ask him what would have been his response had his folks told him how to start their lives together and held financial control to ensure they get their way. Is he willing to burn a bridge with his son, future Dill, and maybe even grandchildren for this? That's the gamble he and mom are taking. Once you get him to think this way, he can deal with you mom and brother. But my gut says getting dad to cool down first is the best route. That said, if this goes down to the wire, you got a hard choice to make, especially if college is at risk. However, my gut says if your decision to support the bride and groom ends your college education, they will lose their daughter too. Hi. Thank you for your advice. Yeah, I do know that. I think you make a good point about talking to my dad, and maybe I will try that. He's normally more rational than my mother, who can be irrational. It was kind of cold of your brother not to include your other brother in the wedding party if he was his best man. I, 33F, just found out that my sex life with my husband 33 meters, is based on a specific porn director's scenes, and I'm not sure how to discuss it with him. NSFW. Edit. Okay, so this picked up a lot more attention than I expected. I wanted to comment more, but there are a lot, so thank you all for your comments. First off, I've not spoken to him about it yet. I will most probably post an update when I have. I mentioned I found out a few days before this post, and my feelings have changed a lot since then. Even more after reading your comments. It's changed my perspective considerably. To address a few things, I know I'm lucky to be so appreciated by my husband. I think our relationship is very balanced and healthy. This is just something that he likes to indulge in, and I'm obviously more than happy to oblige. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a porn addiction, but I'll take the possibility into account. I wrote P0RN because I didn't know if there were filters on Reddit to block certain words, and also this is one way people wrote it on the internet back in the days of AOL and dial-up. Sorry, guess I was showing my age. Finally, with regards to the director, if I do an update I'll reveal who it is then. I'm not trying to be clickbaity, but one of the reasons for this post was because I sort of felt like my sex life was suddenly available to everyone when I saw these scenes, almost like an invasion of privacy. I know I'm just some anonymous person on the internet, but for me it took a lot of time to write this, seeking advice from strangers, and while my perspective has changed a lot thanks to you guys, I'm still not comfortable revealing too much before I've spoken to my husband. If all goes well after the talk, then I apparently have a lot to thank this guy for. Again, thank you all. You're really decent people! Exclamation mark. I'm 33F and I've been with 33 meters for 12 years, married for 6. We got together young but both had fairly equal experiences before our relationship and have gone through a lot together. Our relationship has had its ups and downs, but nothing extraordinary. We are both as in love as we were at the start. Our sex life too has evolved and changed over the years. We have the usual later issues surrounding sex, but we have good communication and both of us are more than happy. The reason for this post is due to a recent discovery I've made. Every now and then we set aside a day or evening for a special sexy time. This usually involves me dressing up in lingerie or outfits. It's long and drawn out. We may play video games, watch a film/TV, play games, etc., eventually leading to, essentially, him worshipping me. He loves my body and is a bit of a perv, but I can't stress this enough. I like it. It makes me feel good, helps with my self-esteem, and I must admit, it feels great. I'm always satisfied and I love the attention. Now, recently, I had to use his PC to sort out some photos I had on my phone because it's a lot more capable than my laptop. Whilst creating filed destinations etc., I came across a folder full of P0RN. It's not really an issue for me. We've never openly and directly discussed our P0RN use, but we have joked and both of us have come across each other's use of it, so no biggie. However, I realized that the entire collection was that of a specific actor/director, hundreds of scenes, and what was most upsetting is that the scenes tend to follow a certain sequence, and I realized that our special sexy time mirrored these scenes almost perfectly. The outfits, the worshipping, positions, sex acts, etc. You get the picture. We even one time bought a treadmill so he could watch me walk, and yep, that's in these scenes as well. Now I'm no prude, there was nothing in these scenes that upset me. It's all quite nice actually, nothing scary or too aggressive with a focus on the girl, but I can't help but feel a little disappointed, betrayed maybe. It feels a bit like the sexy time we had, that I thought was special to us, has been stolen from some P0RN director. On the other side, I don't want to stop doing this. Like I said, I enjoy it. Some of the things they do in these scenes I don't want to do at all, but there are other things we've never done but I'd like to try. The majority of the scenes have a focus on anal, which we do every so often when I'm in the mood, but it has intrigued me. What I'm asking this sub is, how do I talk to my husband about this? It's been a couple of days and I'm not as bothered by it as I was initially, but I also don't know how to bring it up that I know. I obviously found it by snooping and he's never told me about his collection, and it's obviously private to him, which is fine. I don't want to embarrass him and I also don't want it to affect or stop our sexy times, but I would like to discuss it. Any ideas?